Hello and good day everyone, welcome back to the show. I'm Sean David, thanks for tuning in. Today's episode again will be a little bit different. Actually, I had the idea for this video like almost 2 years ago, but it took me like super long to get it realized, which is why, we only get to see the final product today. For the guys that know me a little bit longer, you know that in my real life, I'm a basketball coach. Actually, I host, quite a few basketball camps for kids. And with those camps, I always try to invite NBA stars or former NBA players just not only to teach the kids fundamentals, but also get them, the possibility and opportunity to listen to the guys who actually been to the NBA, share their stories and everything. To me, I think that's very important. And because of that, I always got into touch with former NBA players, and that's when the idea started to come up. Hey, wouldn't it be interesting for you guys to actually hear what those kind of things actually cost? So what does it cost to have NBA player at your camp or to have an interview and those kind of things? So in this video, I actually messaged like almost 100 former NBA players and current NBA players. And what happened? I got some very interesting prices. In the past, I already had guys like John Tabak, who played for the Houston Rockets with Hakeem Olajuwon, Bruno Sundorf, who actually played with Dirk Nowitzki. I had Paul Zipser from the Chicago Bulls at my camp. Guys who I can really say they didn't came for the money, they actually came to teach their knowledge and to work with the kids. So that was something really special, and thanks again, you guys. With the following guys now, it's a little bit different in terms of I didn't know them, so I had to see if I can get in touch with them over LinkedIn or get into touch with them over Twitter, or even check some agencies. So, and what happened? So the first player that we're going to talk about is Charles Oakley. Charles Oakley, legendary player from the New York Knicks. I actually wanted to book him, but not for a camp, actually for an interview. And how much did it cost? $10,000 minimum. I spoke not to Charles Oakley directly, but actually to his agent, and it was pretty difficult. He actually said that Charles Oakley only does a few interviews. That's also the reason why you don't find many current interviews on YouTube. And the minimum that he actually wanted to have for half an hour interview is $10,000. Quite a bit of money for a phone conversation. And the next player that we contacted was Dwayne Wade. Actually, we tried to get in touch with him over social media, and I had Twitter, I think, I had Facebook, LinkedIn. It was really, really difficult to get in touch with him, but I actually found out about an agent who pointed me to an agency, and I got into touch with them, and what happens? I found out he charges $200,000 to travel from the US to Germany to host a basketball camp for 1 day. So, if you ever been to a basketball camp, $200,000, it's impossible to make money at that camp or to even cover the costs. I love Dwayne Wade, a great player, but that kind of money, that's quite a few bucks. And the next player on my list is Muggsy Bogues. Yes, the guy from Space Jam, but more the guy who played for the Charlotte Hornets, the shortest player who ever played in the NBA, 5'3", Muggsy Bogues. I actually got into touch with him over his daughter. His daughter works for a consulting company, and she's basically also managing Muggsy. And it cost $12,000 plus expenses, so the flight costs, he would like to have business class plus hotel costs. So all in all, if I would like to book him for a basketball camp or a speaking gig, he would cost me $20,000 to get him from the States to Germany. Yes. If I would have the money, Muggsy, believe me, you would be here right now. We would kick it off, but $20,000 still a lot of money. And the next player, okay, this is for you real hardcore old school fan. I don't know, does anybody remember Dino Radja? Actually a guy that played for the Boston Celtics, a European player, of course. He was inducted to the Hall of Fame pretty recent, but I talked to him personally a year ago for a camp. He would charge €2,500. He would travel from Croatia, so from Croatia to Germany, plus the flights and hotels, €2,500. So I would say approximately $3,000. And the next player on my list is Bill Walton, NBA legend and one of the 50 greatest players of all time, Bill Walton. I actually spoke to his manager. Bill is, pretty busy all the time, so it's not only the money issue, but it's also that you have to have a very specific date, and he has to be really free on that day because he's basically all over the country. But if you would like to book Bill Walton to host an event for you, it would cost $40,000. Okay, so the next one is very interesting, Dirk Nowitzki. Why is that one interesting? Because if you guys actually ever consider to book one of these guys, which really would be happy for you guys if you can come up with so much money and actually have that opportunity. But there are different agencies that represent certain players, like Dirk Nowitzki, for example. He has like 5 different agencies that offer his services, and depending on what agency you contact, the prices totally differ. There's actually one agency that says that he costs between, listen, $100,000 and $1 million to host an event. And there are also some other agencies where it's between $50,000 and $100,000. So if you ever want to book one of these guys, really make sure you compare the prices, because I mean there's a huge difference between $50,000 and up to $1 million. Okay, so definitely invest some time to make sure you don't overpay. So now we get to one of my favorite players, Charles Barkley. Believe me, if I would have the money, Charles Barkley would sit next to me right now, but that is too much money for me. $200,000 to book Charles Barkley to host an event. That is actually a price that I can understand. I mean, it's still a lot of money, but I mean, that guy is not only a Hall of Famer, one of the best players of all time. He has TV gigs all the time, so I understand that he would have to take a day off his usual schedule, where he's probably also getting paid a lot of money. So that I understand, but $200,000, still a lot of money. So I gotta start saving now. And the next one is also very interesting, Magic Johnson. Actually, I was trying to get in touch with Magic Johnson, so I found out about his management, actually contacted him, and believe it or not, they actually replied. I know it sounds crazy, but believe me, when you receive a message that has the subtitle Magic Johnson's management, that feels kind of nice. Anyway, Magic Johnson was not available for any events. Actually, I was asking him while he was still working for the Los Angeles Lakers, so his schedule was super full. But I found out with some research, you would have to pay $100,000 to have Magic Johnson at your event, and it has to be in the States, not in Europe. So $100,000 for Magic Johnson, definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. And the next player on my list is AC Green, also a Los Angeles Lakers legend, the Iron Man. And by the way, I really got to recommend a documentary to you guys. If you haven't seen it before, check on YouTube, AC Green, the Iron Virgin. It's about how he never had a woman in his NBA career. Really interesting and fascinating story. But having said that, if you want to book AC Green for your events, you would have to pay $10,000, which is definitely a reasonable price, but that is also a price for the States. So $10,000 plus the flight and hotel, definitely a decent price. So can't complain about that. All right, so the next one is going to be really, really interesting. Why? Well, first of all, we're talking about James Worthy, also one of the 50 greatest players of all time, a Los Angeles Laker legend, an NBA champion. So I was expecting a super huge price, but I was getting in touch with him, or his management basically, and what I found out really shocked me. I also double checked with some agencies, but to have James Worthy as a speaker at your event, it's only $20,000. Okay, so to you fans out there, I mean, I'm 100% sure that there are so many hardcore old school fans just like me. If you have a good job, a well-paid job, and you have some friends that also have a well-paid job, and you're a hardcore NBA fan, seriously, book James Worthy or Muggsy Bogues, book those guys. Believe me, if when I book certain players to my camps and just listening to the stories and everything, I always feel like it's totally worth it. Of course, it's an investment, but you only live once, and listening to stories and their experiences is just incredible. And of course, for me, it's a little bit more difficult since I live in Europe. In Germany, it's even harder to get the guys to fly over here. But if you live in the States and you have the opportunity, seriously, use that, okay? So if you guys want to see another episode, I still have plenty of more prices. Just let me know. I hope you find this video interesting, and I hope to see you next time. Peace. I'm out. Hey, you guys, if you're active on Facebook, I can really recommend Open Court. As an NBA fan, you should find everything you need. If it's funny NBA videos, impressive highlights, or even NBA news, I check out Open Court every day.